Okay, so the research process, so that's my name and this is the subject. Are you all there tak? Muka semua senyap je, you all ada kat situ ke? Kau terkatil ke apa? Tak ada. You all there?
Ada, Doktor.
Ada, Doktor.
Okay. Sikit-sikit buat bunyi-bunyi lah, tak apa, tak ada masalah. Sebab saya risau awak semua tidur di belah sana ke apa, so you buat bunyi sikit. Tak apa, tanya soalan, saya belanja air kosong. Okay, so research process, very important. What is the aim of this subject? Itu yang we want to find out. You ambil sebenarnya, what are you going to get at the end of it? Okay, so at the end of this, insyaAllah dalam masa 4 weeks ni, you should be familiar with method, approach, process. Ini 3 benda yang you need to know. Okay, you might get confused over the terms method, approach, or process. Don't worry, akan ada beberapa pandangan, perbezaan, tetapi what you need to understand is the basic idea of what is method, approach, or process. Okay, you need to understand all this. Mungkin you will debate among your friends, ada yang akan cakap method ialah ini, design ialah ini, approach is this, process ni macam ni. Don't worry about that. Kalau kita bertengkar on this grounds, we will not get anywhere. Tapi what you need to understand about this PhD process is the whole journey, the whole process is what you understand and how you can write it well. Don't worry about these terms, what is the method, approach, or process. But at the end of this course ini, you will get a basic understanding of what is it all about. Okay, and then to provide understanding of how to select methods for different types of research question and stages. Okay, so based on this point number 2 ini, we are talking about, so you have your questions, insyaAllah you are going to have your questions. So which method is the best? How to get the best out of information, the best? Okay, mungkin along the way you say, for this kind of research question, saya perlu membuat survey. Okay, and then along the way, you dah buat survey, then you kata, okay, untuk buat kajian saya lagi detail, I need to do focus group, I need to do experiment, I need to do this, I need to do that. Okay, so those are types of methods yang available. Okay, and then once you dah buat ni, the point number 3 is provide an appreciation of the importance of rigor and relevance in the research. Meaning, once you have done, you will understand more about the research or what you want to do. Okay, and you are going to do this rigorously in your field of work. Okay, membuat PhD ini is not something you just sit under the tree and fikir masa depan dapat idea. Tak, you cannot just sit under the tree. Okay, hari ni I think the topic is like this. No. Saya nak buat benda pasal environment. No. I nak buat something about building. I nak buat something about construction. No, it does not work like that. It needs proper investigation. It needs proper reading to get the exact question or exact problem, and based on that, you are going to do your research. Okay, so you need to, on completion of this subject, you should have developed your critical thinking and analytical thinking, able to seek out, organize, and evaluate relevant information, time management, to obviously, advanced communication skill, both oral and written, collaborative skills, okay, capacity for independent, self-reflective, and critical inquiry. So we are talking about you are being critical. Jangan hanya membaca journal and say, oh, this is a very good journal, but you need to criticize why is this journal, or how can this research be better? Okay, how can this research be better? And you baca, you kata, okay, this is a good study, tetapi it could have been done in this manner. Or dia buat research ni hanya di Malaysia, or hanya di this part of world, or maybe it was before COVID-19. So now COVID-19 has come, it's something different. So you have to be very, very critical about your research. And also, you will devise, inshallah, you will able to devise your proposal, frame creative work for performance question and conceptual framework, engage critically with relevant scholarly literature, position creative work for performance practice and currency of research, communicate, reflect creativity, and work constructively. Okay, so these are all things that you will be able to get, or we hope you can get this. Okay, so when you start reading, you should be very, very critical about what you read. So this is my reference. Kenapa saya bubuh reference? Biasanya orang bubuh reference di bahagian hujung, but I put my reference in front because I want you to get an idea of siapa yang saya cite most of the time. Kenapa saya cite ini at 2005? Sebabnya slides, ada beberapa slides dalam slide, ada beberapa slides dalam slide saya ini yang saya ambil sendiri from my time when I did my PhD. So I did it in University of Melbourne, di bawah ini, okay. Dan saya mengikuti kelas research method, and tak macam mana saya simpan nota-nota research method saya dalam thumb drive, and alhamdulillah baru ni jumpa balik. So this is what you're seeing today is gabungan nota yang daripada 2008, 2009 sampai ke hari ini lah. Okay, so that's why buku ni bertarikh 2005, but actually this is dah ada buku yang baru lah. I think 2019 dah ada dah buku baru. 18 dah ada buku baru dia. Okay, but I want you to see these notes the slide ni come from dah lama dah, tapi dah olah lah dengan benda-benda baru. And I also pakai pakcik Google lah. Okay, pakcik Google. Okay, so we start with what is research? Okay, systematic process of answering question and to acquire new knowledge. Systematic process, answering question, and to acquire new knowledge. Okay, so the idea is you want to get new knowledge of something. Okay, and what are the process you take in order for you to get that knowledge? Okay, so what are the process? So process dia bermula daripada you attend class, itu satu proses. Okay, and then you do your literature review, that's another process. And then you synthesize your literature review. And then after you synthesize, you find the gap. Okay, you define the gap. Next, you come up with your research question and also your research objectives. So once you have done that process, next you move to your design. Selepas your design, you come up with your proper design, you discuss your design, then you move into your method. Once you design your method, you go for your pilot test. Once you're done your pilot test, you go for your actual test, and then you go for your analysis. Once you're done your analysis, you fikir masa depan. Lepas tu you fikir masa you tak boleh tidur, you analyse lagi, then you write papers, then you write your conclusion, and last kali you buat your referencing, and you buat your viva. Then you have done the process, you have completed the process. So everything follows a systematic process. That is research. A research cannot be you sit under the tree, you buat satu observant, okay, ada burung tu terbang sampai ke atas, lepas tu burung tu jatuh. Okay, you observe based on your eyes, observe, and you come up with something. No, that's not research. Okay, that is just coincidentally ada burung terbang. Okay, because you want to say, I have got a new knowledge. Because at the end of the day, setelah habis semua ni, you are going to tell the world of knowledge, wahai knowledge, I have got something new. This is my findings. I have found something new, and inilah dia yang saya dah cari. And people are going to approve what you have found because you have followed certain steps. Why do we need to follow these steps? Supaya everything is done rigorously. Kita dah baca semua jurnal yang terlibat. Kita dah buat semua method tu berdasarkan structure dia. Kita dah buat analysis accordingly. We have done the experiment, everything well. Okay, so that is what is mean by systematic process, because we want to answer certain questions. Right. So next one, questions of how professional practice is conducted and contributes to the development of better practices. So maybe you question the professional practice. Okay, the professional practice. Let's say I give you an example of building. Let's say a construction company is building a building using IBS ke apa namanya lah. Okay, so you question that based on your literature or based on certain conditions, you question the process. Okay, you question the process based on findings, there is something wrong about that, there is something not thoughtful of that. So you question that and you do a research on that, and once you have found the finding, you give that findings back to the practice, professional practice, untuk mereka develop, untuk mereka do better. So that is also considered as a research. You give your knowledge back to the research, to the practice, to the practice, so that they can do their works better. Okay. Dalam research ni ada dua contribution yang kita harus ingat. Satu ialah contribution kepada teori dan contribution terhadap practice. Okay. What is your contribution setelah you buat research ni? What is your contribution to theory and what is your contribution to the practice? Okay. So akan ada orang berdebate pasal benda ni. Ada orang cakap tidak perlu teori, hanya fokus pada practice. Ada orang cakap no, you follow practice but you leave out theory. So kedua-duanya is based on your field of work. Tetapi on the basic line is you have to contribute your research to two areas. Okay, one is to the theory and one is to the practice itself. Are you with me? Are you all okay there?
Ya, Doktor.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any questions? Baru masuk slide nombor 3 ni. Okay, research should be controlled, rigorous, systematic, valid, verified, empirical, and critical. Empirical means you do actual data collection, empirical data. Bukannya based on hearsay. Saya nak buat kajian tentang penduduk di kawasan XYZ. Okay, so you just go daripada atas bukit tu, you tengok kawasan perumahan tu. Okay, jumlah rumah, you kali, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, done. Okay, agak-agak mungkin dalam kawasan rumah ni Melayu 30%, India 40%, and this and no. That is not empirical. Empirical means you go down to the field and you calculate the exact number of people who stay in that area. That is empirical data. You find it, you cari betul-betul data yang mengatakan bahawa 50% daripada penduduk di kawasan ini ialah Melayu. So you went, you found betul 50%. Or you nak tahu, let's say you want to come up with a figure, threshold untuk kadar kemiskinan. Baru-baru ni bila dalam bajet 20 baru ni 2021 ni, I just heard that the threshold of kadar kemiskinan di negara kita hari ini ialah sekitar dalam 2,600 ke 2,800. Meaning to say, if a household income of monthly payment 2,800 dengan anak 2, bermaksud dia sudah dalam kategori miskin. 2,800 tu dah kategori miskin. So that, how did they come to that figure? That figure is based on, I'm sure, empirical data. Dia orang buat kajian ke apa nama. So in your research, you must also do empirical data collection or empirical data. Research is not based on authority, tradition, common sense, media myth, and personal experience. Media myth ni kalau you baca media lah, based on social media ke, media mengatakan no, that is not research. Personal experience is not also considered. Personal experience is not based on, you cannot write on, based on my personal experience, I went to this way and saya dapati bahawa the condition of the housing area is like this. No, that is your personal experience. But you can start with your personal experience untuk memulakan research. Yes, based on your personal experience, you feel that kawasan rumah ini atau kawasan rumah ini dia punya betul keadaan tanah tu structure dia macam ni. Personal experience, but you have to support it with empirical data. Itu tak apa. Common sense pun tak boleh. Oh, you tak boleh fikir, this is common sense. Memanglah rumah macam tu, mesti tak cantik. You know, rumah architecture yang macam ni, that is common sense. It's not this. Because they tak ada data to support. Tradition pun tak boleh. Ini zaman dulu based on nenek moyang kita. You cannot write lah dalam you buat journal, you tulis based on our ancestors. Tak boleh lah cakap ancestors, you know. Mana tahu kan, memanglah ancestor access tu bagus, tapi you cannot say kajian oleh nenek dan atuk saya mendapati bahawa durian ni kalau nak tumbuh dia macam ni. Tak, it doesn't based on that. And authority, no, authority is also not advisable, because authority is you have power to that area. Let's say you are the boss, okay, awak seorang contractor and you are doing your research. So when you do your fieldwork survey, because you have authority on your sample, so meaning you are influencing your sample, that is not also considered that is not also considered a research, because you cannot get the actual data. Orang akan jawab sebab you boss. Okay, so you are the boss, so people will give you answers. So you cannot use authority as part of your research. Are you with me? Okay, semua selamat di sana?
Okay. Ya.
Ada nak tanya soalan ke? Belum lagi?
Doktor, nak tanya satu soalan.
Go ahead.
Tadi doktor ada cakap pasal research tu dia kena bagi kepada dua contribution. First to theory and practice.
Correct.
Betul kan?
Yep.
Saya ada baca juga, ada juga contribution kepada untuk methodological.
Yes, correct. Betul. Tepat sekali. So, yes.
Adakah kita perlu tiga-tiga tu?
No, macam mana saya cakap, if you get, kalaulah you terkena tiga-tiga itu, alhamdulillah sangat-sangat. That will be very good. If you hit 3 point ini, practice pun you kena, teori pun you kena, methodology pun you kena, memang hebatlah. Okay, methodology ni macam, I'll give you an example of methodology. Let's say you come up with this particular method, yang method ini memang dah lama ada. This method is always available. Katakan you pakai SPSS, all that not. Tetapi it has not been done in medical sciences. Method ini selalu digunakan untuk bidang, let's say bidang A and bidang B. Bidang A itu construction, bidang A itu let's say bidang B dalam management, saham, prediction of saham and so on. Not. Okay, tetapi method ini tidak pernah digunakan untuk medical science. Untuk kita buktikan bahawa COVID-19 ini akan turun pada bulan 9, 10, 11. Okay, this method has not been used for predicting something. So now you have contributed something whereby you have said this method is also applicable to this kind of research. So that is good. But if you have not come up with a new method, kiranya method you sama, it's fine, tak ada masalah. Tapi kebanyakan research only uses these two area, theory and practice. Tetapi jangan salah sangka, akan ada mungkin beberapa orang daripada awak yang tidak memakai teori pun. Betul, tak ada masalah. You are contributing to something which is practice. It depends on the field which you are in. But mostly kebanyakannya ialah semua research akan contribute kepada dua area ini, practice and also your theory. Okay? Are you with me? Faham tak?
Okay, doktor, thank you.
Okay. So now since kita dah cerita pasal teori, now we go into theory lah. Okay. So what is theory? Theory ialah a set of well-defined concepts and their interrelationship. So konsep dalam teori is well-defined and what links to this theory. Okay, I give you an example. Okay, teori mengatakan bahawa jika saya kurang makan, maka saya akan kurus. Okay, jangan bandingkan saya memang besar. Saya tak boleh pakai dalam, saya bukan subject matter kat sini ya. So teori mengatakan bahawa jika kita kurang makan, maka kita akan kurus. Teori ini telah lama digunakan. It has been used for 10 years. Okay. Tiba-tiba datang Azrul cakap, based on his reading, he found out that ada researcher yang lain yang mengatakan bahawa jika kita exercise lebih, kita juga boleh kurangkan lose weight lah. Tetapi benda ni tidak pernah dibuktikan. Okey, tidak pernah dibuktikan. And Syamimi pula kata dia baca dalam satu jurnal artikel masa sebelum dia tidur, dia kata bahawa puasa juga can also lead to kurus. And benda ni tidak pernah dibuktikan. Okay, so teori asal mengatakan bahawa kita kurang makan. Tetapi over time, over 10 years, kita buat, Azrul kata, exercise. So Azrul pun buatlah testing. Dia buat survey, dia buat semua-semua. And he found out that di antara kurang makan dan juga exercise contributes more to kurang makan. Losing weight lah. To losing weight. Okay, to losing weight. So now he has proven to the theory yang teori ini sudah berkembang. Kita boleh lose weight melalui dua cara, iaitu kurangkan makan dan exercise. Okay, so he has tambah satu relationship. Syamimi dia pula kata in another 15 years baca dia kata no, puasa pun boleh rupanya. Tapi orang tak pernah tahu lagi. So dia pun buat kajian and dia tambah satu teori, dia tambah satu lagi variable ke dalam teori tersebut, and teori tersebut kata puasa contributes to losing weight. So dia pun buat testing lah. Tapi dia tak buat testing only on puasa, dia buat testing on exercise and also dia buat testing on kurangkan makan. And dia dapati bahawa puasa ini rupanya tak mengurangkan berat badan. Dia punya efek tu ada tapi tak banyak. Okay. Padahal awal-awal masa dia buat defense proposal, dia kata saya dah baca, I have read all the journals and I have it's best to my knowledge that puasa ini boleh mengurangkan boleh kurus lah. And dia buat research, rupanya tak kena pula. Dia kata rupa-rupanya kurangkan makan contributes more. Okay, adakah research dia salah? Tidak, research itu betul. She has proven that puasa contributes, memang ada relationship dengan kurus, tetapi tidak banyak macam exercise dan juga puasa. So her contribution to teori ialah sekarang Syamimi sudah buktikan bahawa puasa juga contributes to losing weight, tapi tidak banyak seperti exercise dan juga kurangkan makan tadi. Oh, macam YB cakap. Adakah Encik Azrul faham?
Faham, betul, faham.
Faham? Okay, so lepas ni boleh kurangkan berat badan macam saya. Okay, so teori is like that. Teori is well defined. So over time you tambah. You tambah relationship dia. Okay, so it has an idea expressed as symbols. Dia ada simbol-simbol dia ada scope dia. Okay, scope ni bermaksud teori ini is normally used in this area. Okay, dan dia ada relationship dia. Associational relationship, temporal relationship, causal relationship. Causal relationship maksud satu naik, satu turun. Adakah kita kata lagi banyak aku puasa, lagi banyak aku hilang berat badan? Or adakah kita kata lagi banyak aku kurangkan, lagi banyak aku tak makan, lagi ni kurang kurus? No, those are the things lah. And they have level of abstraction, complexity. How complex is your theory? Susah sangat ke nak buat teori ni? Okay. And we also have proposition. Proposition means a relationship between these concepts. Daripada exercise kepada losing weight. These are relationship and these are propositions. Okay. Propositions ialah seseorang itu, a researcher saying this is associated with this. That is what we say as proposition. Syamimi mengatakan bahawa puasa ada relationship dengan kurang berat badan. Okay, that is proposition. Hypothesis means proposition yang sama, the more I exercise or the more I puasa, the more I lose weight. Nampak beza dia? Propositions hanya satu relationship. Dia tidak mengatakan bahawa atas bawah. Dia cuma mengatakan yes, there is a relationship. But what is the relationship? We don't know. Ada kaitan dia, tapi kita tak tahu apa kaitan dia. Ada kaitan dia antara saya cycle dengan saya lose weight, tapi saya tak tahu apa kaitan dia. Adakah saya cycle lagi banyak, saya kurang berat badan. When you start saying that, meaning is what we say as hypothesis. When empirically evaluated, it is then called hypothesis. Bila you buat kajian, dan you kata, oh betul lah, proposition saya kata tadi puasa berat badan. Okay? Tapi rupanya lagi banyak saya puasa, lagi banyak saya lose weight. That is hypothesis. Okay? Hypothesis ni you can say ada value lah, ada maksud dia, ada nilai dalam tu. Proposition is just a line. Akan ada, okay, cuma macam ni. Another example is cuaca nak makan aiskrim. When it's hot, you eat ice cream. Okay, that's a proposition. But when you start doing a hypothesis, you can say the hotter it gets, the more ice cream I eat. Macam tu. There is the line. Panas, ice cream. Panas, ice cream. But apakah line itu? What is that line about? The more hotter, the more ice cream. Macam tu. Sejuk dengan pakai sweater. There is a line. The colder it gets, the thicker my clothes are. That is a hypothesis. So you test this hypothesis. Okay. All right. So these are certain relationships which are available. Causal relationship. Is attempt to influence that. What's dengan mana yang lebih contribute terhadap losing weight.
Teks putus-putus lah. Kurang dengar.
Okay, what does it mean by influence? We just look at how, let them be as what they are. We just want to see. Okay, temporal is over time. Tempo nampak pun tempo kan. So tempo is over time. Berdasarkan satu jangka masa, what is, macam mana perubahan dia. Okay, that is temporal. Causal relationship is we want to find out what is the kita akan kita perlu exercise satu hari 4 jam. These are examples yang saya minta Dr. Irwan tunjukkan pada saya yang dalam building survey, dalam biasa-biasa digunakan lah. Okay, so this is one on the left hand side is purchasing intent. Okay, bila seseorang itu membuat you nak beli something, okay, you nak buy something over the internet, okay, you need trust and purchasing intent. And this is also service quality, how you determine service quality on a particular building. Okay, kalau kita lihat kat sini, this is what we say as a theory. Inilah satu teori. So this theory can be used in macam-macam field. Let's say kita guna teori ini untuk dalam, we want to find out berapa ramai orang yang berbelanja during Shopee 11. So we use this theory. E-commerce knowledge, adakah orang yang berbelanja dalam online mempunyai e-commerce knowledge? Adakah orang berbelanja online ini diorang belanja dekat website yang reputable only? Adakah mereka sanggup mengambil risiko? Oh, mereka ease of use, benda diorang shop ni sebab senang. Okay, so what are the factors that contribute to trust? Okay, Sebab ada orang suka shop sebab senang. Ada orang suka shop sebab dia terror dalam e-knowledge. Ada orang suka shop sebab yang kedai yang dia beli tu ialah kedai yang bagus lah, yang original lah. Ada orang kata no, risiko shop online ni kurang. Risiko saya keluar dapat COVID-19 tu lagi tinggi. So all of this contributes to one which is called the trust. And with trust, I will shop. I will ada intention untuk saya berbelanja. So we can use this dalam to determine pattern orang berbelanja and so on and so forth. Okay. So on the right hand side, this is also another theory untuk service quality. Okay, are you all with me? Okay tak di sana?
Okay, tapi tadi macam ada sangkut-sangkut suara.
Oh, okay. Sorry, bila sangkut-sangkut, let me know immediately sebab saya bersiaran langsung daripada bilik anak saya. Kat sini kadang-kadang internet dia out sikit. So kalau internet tu out, you just terus cakap dengan saya. Kalau saya tak jawab, you message saya.
Okay.
Sekarang okay?
Sekarang okay.
Okay. So kadang-kadang dekat tingkat atas ni dia punya line tu kurang okay sikit. Okay, so if you have any, kalau suara saya sangkut ke apa, you just let me know immediately. Kalau tak dapat saya cakap sorang-sorang, you message saya terus. Okay. Okay. So dimensions of research, this is also something you need to know. What is the purpose of your research? Is it to explore, find out something new, or you setakat nak describe something, or you want to explain about a situation? Okay. And normally untuk PhD we use basic research. Okay. We do not use applied research. Applied research ni lebih kepada business lah. Di BA dia banyak buat applied research. So dia ada specific questions yang dia nak menjawab, and data dia based on, orang kata data dia memang dah ada dalam buku lah. So dia buat study on that, dia nak jawab certain questions. Specific questions tu sudah ada di mostly on banking sectors we use this. And then what is your time dimension? Adakah you nak buat longitudinal satu jangka masa, or you nak buat cross sectional dalam dalam setahun you cross tu. Katakan proses membuat satu bangunan itu selama 8 bulan. But your study is cross sectional, you nak tahu dalam piling stage tu, you want to study that. That is cross sectional. You want to study during the piling stage, you want to study during that particular stage. Bila seseorang itu buat painting, what is the steps dia buat painting? Mula-mula dia buat step A, B, C, D. But you are more interested in step C, so that is cross sectional. Okay, then you are also looking at quantitative or qualitative. Quanti is normally we're talking about numbers, and quali we are talking about field research lah. You buat interview, you buat design science, so these are all we say as qualitative research. Okay, so what are the approaches you are using? This is theory approach. So why do I say this is about you need to understand macam mana you nak look at things. How do you want to look at things? Okay, are you using the inductive approach or deductive approach? Okay, deductive approach, you ambil satu teori, you cari relationship dia, you tambah relationship dia, you come to empirical data. Macam example deductive ini, macam example yang tadi lah, losing weight tadi. Teori mengatakan bahawa ni, but Azrul kata no, dia dah baca. Teori asal kata makan kurang, lose weight. Tapi Azrul kata no, dia dah baca, dia kata exercise. So dia buat satu relationship, so dia test and he comes up with empirical data. That is what we call deductive. Okay. Inductive pula, kita bermula daripada data and we come up with the concept and we come up with the theory. Okay. Daripada bawah, kita tak ada teori, kita datang daripada data je. We study, we find the pattern. We want to find the pattern. So we come with empirical data. Okay. So inductive means someone who uses inductive reasoning make specific observation and draws a general conclusion. So you buat your observation, let's say macam orang National Geographic lah, dia ambil gambar, dia duduk dalam hutan, dia observe keadaan sekeliling for a certain period of time, berapa lama, and then dia draw conclusion. Rupa-rupanya harimau keluar pada waktu malam untuk makan. Susah sangat. Punya lama duduk dalam hutan, itu dia dapat. Tak ada, itu satu example je lah. Okay. Deductive reasoning is a specific conclusion following a general theory. Okay. Teori mengatakan ini, sekarang saya buat ini. Okay. And I found out that there is more to that. Bukan hanya sekadar kurangkan makan, tetapi saya telah menjumpai bahawa kalau kita exercise, kita boleh juga kurang berat badan. Okay. So ini satu lagi explanation I would like to give you based on CSI. Okay, so I've taken this example from one of the books that I read. Deductive profiling, arrive at crime scene. Dia buat hypothesis, dia observe, and dia buat confirmation. Okay, so dia sampai screen, dia tengok apakah yang telah berlaku, dia buat observation, and they come up with his own theory. Okay, that is a deductive approach. Okay, so inductive approach pula theory. They come up with the theory first, and then pergi dia buat empirical data hypothesis, and then dia datang daripada bawah crime scene, dia buat hypothesis, dia test, and he comes up with the theory. That is inductive approach. Okay, so inductive approach kita tidak bermula dengan teori, kita bermula dengan data, and then we try to find out what is the problem, and then we test, and then we come up with the theory. Okay, deductive pula, we go and see the data, then we come up with hypothesis, and then buat observation, and then we come up with a confirmation. Okay, are you with me? Faham tak?
Faham, brother.
Sekejap, saya nak tengok muka awak semua. Line sangkut-sangkut. Oh, sorry. Tadi tak perasan message ni. Okay, sekarang line sudah okay ke?
Dah okey, doktor.
Okay. Kalau tak okay, you let me know. Kalau kadang-kadang saya tak terbaca dalam chat ni.
Doktor, nak tanya boleh?
Ya, go ahead. Okay.
Ada ke dalam research dia come out dengan dua proses ni, deductive dan induktif?
Sekejap let me think. Ada tak yang keluar dengan, can you give me an example lah so that I can answer you better?
Tak, let's say katakan dia nak buat research kan, ada tak come out dengan deductive dan juga induktif proses? Maknanya kalau biasa kita buat induktif ni macam lebih kepada interview, deductive lebih kepada questionnaire semua tu kan. Ada tak come out dengan dua sekali approach ni?
Haziq, saya rasa mungkin ada sedikit what you say,
apa, kekeliruan?
this approach ni is not, it's how you look at things tau. Macam mana you melihat your research. You see?
Okay.
That means kalau induktif itu you duduk dalam hutan, you tengok binatang, you tengok sampai habis, and then you come up with your own theory, and then that is your research.
Okay.
Okay. Kalau yang deductive pula, you dah ada teori. Azrul dah ada teori dah. Okay, dia dah buat teori.
Okay.
But you kata teori ini is not applicable untuk Malaysia. It's applicable untuk di sana. Kalau kat Malaysia, you kena tambah satu variable lagi. Okay? That is a deductive theory. That is how you look at things. Cara kita melihat ni. Untuk buat dua-dua, yes, it is possible. Tetapi you akan buat dua kali research lah. Satu, you come up with your own theory, you kena buat inductive. You come up with a theory, and satu lagi, test your theory.
Okay.
Sangkut tak? Tak dengar.
So untuk buat dua-dua kajian,
Sangkut lagi tu.
hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Okey, kejap lagi Dr. Imran masuk. Lebih kurang pukul 9 kot. Dia nak tukar tempat tu.
Okay, thank you Azrul.
Can you hear me now?
Okey Doktor.
Boleh Doktor.
Sorry lah, tadi dekat bilik anak saya, sebenarnya dia orang dah tidur. Dah tidur dia orang tengah main-main. Okay, so we will continue sorry lah. Kalau siapa-siapa nak pergi minum air boleh lagi.
Hello, sorry Doktor.
Yes.
Doktor, sorry. Yang pasal induktif tu maksudnya penceritaan kita je yang boleh menentukan whether perjalanan research kita tu go induktif atau deduktif macam tu
Yeah. How you tell the story.
I see. Okay. Because sometimes now buat my research kan, saya pun macam masih blur lagi. Saya ni induktif ke deduktif lagi. Masih macam mencari.
Because if you don't, you have to discuss with your supervisor and your field of work tau. Kenapa saya katakan teori ini penting? Sebab that is where you start everything with. Itulah dia tempat you bermula. Macam saya kata tadi, teori mengatakan bahawa kita nak kurus ialah ini. Tetapi you tambah satu lagi, relationship. You kata no, dulu memanglah nak kurus kita exercise, tapi sekarang ni dah ada satu lagi relationship, so you tambah lagi. Okay, that's one. But in an inductive situation tu, you see there is a relationship and then you cuba kaitkan and then you buat satu teori yang mengatakan bahawa this is something new yang memang takkan ada. It's not, memang tak ada lah benda ni, memang tak ada. So that is where you start inductive approach lah.
Okay. Alright, thank you Doktor.
Suara malam-malam ni macam sayup.
Kan macam ngantuk sikit. Tak kalau Doktor memang dah terjegim biji mata ni.
So kalau you guys nak buat lawak pun boleh diteruskan lah, tak apalah. Sebab saya tengok muka ni, saya tengok screen dengan muka awak je. Okay, go ahead. Alright. Let's see.
Doktor nak tanya.
Ya Mi.
Tadi awal-awal tadi Doktor ada mention pasal applied research and basic research kan. Macam sebelum ni takut I salah faham. Basically macam basic research dia more on fundamental study. Dia lebih selalunya orang kuali yang akan more on basic research ke sebenarnya orang kuanti pun dia go for basic?
Can you repeat your last statement tak?
Okay,
You kata apa tadi?
Selalunya daripada yang semua-semua ni lah, takut saya lah salah faham. Adakah basic research basically dia lebih ke arah kualitatif punya method, and then kalau applied research selalunya lebih ke arah kuantitatif? Ke sebenarnya dua-dua boleh je?
Yang kedua tu betul. You kata applied betul, tetapi applied is mostly betul on quantity, on numbers, betul, tepat sekali. Tetapi yang basic research can be both. Dia boleh jadi dua-dua ni sekali. Because kenapa saya kata campuran ialah contohnya kalau you buat let's say you're doing macam kita balik pada example paling senang tadi yang pasal losing weight tadi kan. So awak dah buktikan bahawa puasa itu ada kaitan dengan losing weight and you ada data, you dah buat survey semua, you ada data, you ada numbers. And then you also saying that kalau kita berpuasa 30 hari kita boleh lose banyak ni weight. So you have proven that. Tetapi untuk mengukuhkan lagi your finding, you buat interview dengan beberapa orang yang dah kurus and you ask them. And then they also verified yang betul lah. Lepas saya berpuasa, saya kurang 2 kilo. Semua orang cakap macam tu. So now you can prove yang walaupun survey itu ada, ia telah dibuktikan dengan interview tadi tu, inquiry tadi tu. Sebab kadang-kadang akan ada orang yang kata, no, Syamimi buat survey kan, tapi survey ni sebenarnya orang jawab yes, no je. Dia tak, yelah, betul lah, that's how kita jawab pun kan. Kadang-kadang survey ni sebab nak orang kata nak tolong orang kan, nak cepat. So we don't get the appropriate answer. But now you buat another study yang mengukuhkan lagi, that is mixed method. That is also dalam basic research, you can do quanti, you can do quali, or you can do both. Tapi kebanyakan dalam applied research, you do quanti survey, quanti.
Okay.
Okay, Syamimi?
Maksudnya doktor, if let's say kira I punya, let's say lah kalau I punya approach is first I go for interview untuk I punya prelim survey, and then I go for questionnaire untuk main survey. So I punya basic, so I ni lebih ke arah basic research lah. Is it like that?
Bingo.
Okay.
Yes. You can also do, ada juga pelajar yang buat semasa pilot, buat basic research, semasa pilot dia buat interview, semasa actual study dia buat survey. Maksudnya hasil daripada pilot itu dia guna pakai balik dalam survey dia untuk membuktikan balik. Pun boleh juga, tak ada masalah.
Okay, thank you doktor.
Okay. Yang lain-lain nak tanya soalan ke? Okay, others are okay? Cik Azrul okay?
Okay doktor. Okay, faham.
Okay, can you see my slides? Nampak tak slide saya?
Boleh.
Okay, so we continue. Okay, so now you have done your approach. Now, ini satu lagi benda yang agak pening, which is called the research paradigm. Research paradigm ialah ini selepas awak mendapat data tersebut. Now, how are you going to write your data? How are you going to write? How you are going to write lah, basically. Okay, so kita ada 3 method yang kita biasa pakai, 3 paradigm, 3 kacamata. Okay, we are positive, we are interpretive, we are very critical. Okay, secara asasnya untuk saya seorang yang positif. Okay, saya seorang positif kerana I seek to explain and predict what is happening in the social world by searching for regularities and causal relationship between constituent elements. So I look at numbers and I will try to explain from the numbers. Okay, saya buat survey dan daripada survey itu saya dapati bahawa 30% daripada survey saya ialah seorang mereka-mereka yang B40 and below, 40% ialah T20 and above, and so on so forth. So based on that, I will try to explain. Saya seorang positif, so I will try to explain based on the numbers that I've seen. Ini saya seorang yang positif, so I look at the numbers. Okay, so and then I'm always based on numbers, sebab saya pengguna pakai numbers. Show me the numbers. Okay, kita kata 30% daripada rakyat Malaysia betul dalam kategori B40. Okay, show me the numbers. Okay, tunjukkan saya negeri-negeri yang terlibat. Okay, show me the numbers. Oh, betul lah. Okay, then that's what we say as a positive. Interpretive ni lain sikit. The systematic analysis of socially meaningful action through the direct detailed observation of people in natural setting and in order to arrive at understanding and interpretation of how people create and maintain their social world. So what is this all about? Panjang ni. So this one, awak akan cuba interpretkan what people are saying. So Syamimi, interpretive ini bermaksud kualitatif. You will try to interpret what people are saying. Positive tadi, based on the numbers, nombor tidak salah. This is what people are doing. Okay, this is what people are saying. Nombor sudah terbukti, so I'm positive. Interpretive, saya akan melihat orang Dia cakap macam mana, dia interview dia, bila saya interview dia, oh dia cakap banyak kali benda yang sama, maka dia suka benda ni. Oh saya buat satu focus group, oh saya observe dia ni, oh dia ni macam ni, dia punya gaya muka dia berbeza, dia punya function itu berbeza. Saya buat focus group, saya melihat keadaan orang itu macam mana, saya nak melihat keadaan orang asli macam mana. Masa saya buat action research, saya duduk dengan orang asli selama setahun, saya duduk bersama mereka, saya tengok, oh diorang ni masa hari perayaan diorang buat macam ni, bila diorang jumpa orang-orang yang tua diorang buat macam ni. So I interpret that, I have knowledge and then I will write about that. Okay, that is interpretive. Okay, critical pula. A critical process of inquiry that goes beyond surface illustration to cover the real structure in the material world in order to help people change condition and build a better world. Okay, critical almost the same as interpretive, tetapi awak melihat, okay, you akan menggabungkan kedua-duanya sekali, iaitu positive dan interpretive, and you become very critical about that. Okay, apakah yang akan terjadi dengan benda ini? So you melihat sekarang ni, awak melihat keadaan COVID dekat luar tu, awak melihat student problem, awak melihat student depression, awak melihat keadaan orang-orang yang dulu bekerja sekarang tidak bekerja. So you interpret that, you have you feel, and then you lihat belanjawan, statistik mengatakan bahawa kadar kemiskinan kita sudah bertambah, kadar pengangguran sudah bertambah, so you are positive. Now you become very critical. You kata if we do not do something about this, in future kita akan suffer. So this is becoming very critical. So these are the paradigms that you are going to write. Okay, tetapi kita banyak guna pakai paradigm ini bukan semasa kita nak tulis research proposal, tetapi banyak kita akan pakai paradigm ini semasa kita buat analysis and when we are doing the conclusion for our research. So this is where we the paradigm, how you want to write, how you want to analyze, and how you want to write your conclusion. Yeah, that is towards the end. Okay, so question, student pernah tanya saya, bolehkah bolehkah saya interpret, saya ada data tetapi saya menulis based on interpretive? Boleh, boleh juga, tak ada masalah. You can write positive and you can interpret your data. Okay, what do you do? How do you do that? Contohnya, you buat kajian and you have your numbers. Okay, you ada number and you katakan bahawa betul sekarang ni kadar kemiskinan di negara Malaysia ialah 4.9%. Okay, you ada numbers. And then now you interpret that. Jika pengangguran di Malaysia sebanyak kalau macam ni, maka apa orang nak makan? Maka benda-benda lain. You interpretkan, this is not in the data, but you interpretkan this. You interpretkan all of this. So you can also work on both positive and interpretive. Pun boleh juga. Kita bermula dengan positif. Okey, kadar pengangguran Malaysia ialah sebanyak 4.9%. Okey, betul. Jika kerajaan tidak membuat sesuatu, maka something will happen. So you interpret this data beyond the data. Okay, are you with me? Saya bagi seminit untuk awak memikirkan masalah. Okay, boleh? Ada soalan dalam chat room ke apakah? Okay. Okay, next we look at research process. Ada beberapa cara orang buat research process. There are certain steps. Yang hijau di atas ini, choose a topic, focus on your question, design the study, collect data, analyze, interpret, and inform others. Ini biasa. Yang kedua belah kanan, yang warna biru, sama juga topik, literature review, design, measurement, atau methodology, data collection, analysis, interpret, and dah habis. Sama juga, if you go down, step 1, find the topic. Step 2, narrow the topic, gather information, create question. Step 5, working thesis statement. Step 6, evaluate your sources. Step 5, cite your sources, write the paper. Well, all of these are processes. There is no one fixed process. yang saya akan pakai dalam kelas ini, saya akan tunjukkan. Tetapi I will just tell you the rough idea and you come up with a process. Sebab at the end of this slide, saya ada satu soalan and you will decide which number comes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You akan decide. Okay? Tetapi secara dasarnya inilah dia step-step yang you kena hadapi lah, you kena buat. Semua dalam slide ini, semua apa yang dalam ada slide ini, semuanya sama je. Cuma ada dia punya orang kata some diagrams refer a bit more, some diagram refer a bit less, but basically everyone is talking about the same thing. So you do not need to follow one right process. Buku Newman yang atau you can combine Newman and you can combine another book, you can combine it and you form your own research process. Tidak ada masalah, no problem. As long as you finish your research lah. Okay, tak ada masalah. What is the problem? Masalah ni. A statement about an area of concern, a condition to be improved, a difficulty to be eliminated, troubling question that exists in a scholarly literature. Troubling question exists in a scholarly literature. That means this is the question over and over again you baca dalam literature yang mengatakan bahawa ini tidak dikaji, or ini tidak terdapat, or ini tidak dinyatakan. So you find that question. In theory or in practice, again practice that points to the need of meaningful understanding and deliberate investigation. Meaning, ada yang mengatakan benda ni tak ada and there is a need to understand it more and to investigate more. That is a problem. Is a problem a gap? Yes, you can say the problem is also a gap. But sometimes the problem tidak perlu penyelesaian dia because it's not a big problem. But awak mengatakan yes, it's a big problem, tetapi rupanya it's not a big problem pun. Ataupun problem itu terlalu besar sampai there is no need to solve the problem. Okay, it's not a problem, or maybe it's not a big problem. Okay, so that is also something you need to consider. So a problem is where you start from, and at the end of the problem you find out there is a gap for it. Problem and gap ni dia saling berkait. Kita bermula dengan satu problem, kita berakhir dengan satu gap. Okay. So people always tell you the research gap is always important. The research gap is always important. But then you will ask yourself, apakah benda research gap tu? Do not worry. Okay? Kenapa saya kata do not worry? Yes, you will ask yourself, I tak jumpa gap lagi. Memang you takkan jumpa gap. But the gap will come to you. Okay? You bacalah 1001 journal and you won't find the gap. But insyaAllah you will find the gap and you will find that problem. And daripada beratus-ratus jurnal yang you baca atau berpuluh-puluh jurnal yang you baca, insyaAllah sampai ke sudah awak cuma akan atas meja awak mungkin dalam 10 atau 15 jurnal yang you akan jadikan sebagai reference habis-habisan. Daripada berpuluh-puluh yang you baca tu, rupa-rupanya yang sangat-sangat penting tu cuma dalam 10 ke 15 je. And benda tu akan koyak, you akan baca je benda tu. Okay, from that you will get your gap. Okay, and you need to know where to read and how to read. Janganlah baca saya tanya beberapa sekolah dalam UiTM, mereka mengatakan these are the journals that telah saya jumpai. Yang pertama, I think is more of architecture. Okay. Yang kotak kedua, more on building survey. Okay, these are topics, these are not problems. This is just topics. Kotak pertama, ancient temples in Egypt, the architecture of Taj Mahal, rehabilitation of ancient structures, ancient architecture, sustainability architecture, building survey of private residential properties, any residential building in an area, building survey and the impact of globalization, impact of free market on building survey on and environmental safety, yang bawah ni fashion, The military influence on fashion. Oh, this is very interesting. How did the military influence the fashion? Clothing in Elizabethan era, understanding cycles of fashion. These are some topics of interest. Okay. Any questions so far? Boleh?
Okay, tak ada.
Saya continue.
Boleh, boleh.
Boleh Doktor.
Okay ya, boleh ya. Okay. Okay, what is literature review? This is on. It's very, very important. It is used to find out what is already known about a question before trying to answer it. What is already known? Essential early step in research process. So you need to know everything about what you need to question. Jika awak tak tahu, contohnya balik pada title ini. Let's say saya pilih topik yang paling saya suka, the military influence on fashion. So I need to read everything about the military. I need to read everything about fashion. I need to read everything about the influence on fashion. Tidak kira military atau tak military. I need to look at what is the influence of fashion. Fashion ini berkembang. Macam mana dia berkembang? Apakah yang contributing factors to the influence of fashion? So I need to read everything about it. Okay. Based on that, I can come up with my problem and recap. Okay. So that is very important. Research question, research literature review. Literature review is not simply shopping list of what others have said. No, it's just not a shopping list. Oh, orang ni kata macam ni, Azrul kata macam ni, Mimi kata macam ni, yang ni kata macam ni, yang ni kata macam ni. Oh tidak, it's just not a shopping list. You cannot write a literature review paper and say Ali cakap macam ni, Abu cakap macam ni, tetapi Ahmad cakap macam ni. Okay, so sekarang kita dah tahu semua orang cakap apa. So based on that, what you have to synthesize this. So Ali memang cakap itu, Abu cakap macam ni, tetapi Ahmad cakap macam ni. So now what? So it does not and cannot refer to every piece of literature in the field. Okay, betul. It cannot refer, quite impossible to read everything about the literature, about that military tadi tu. Kalau saya ambil contoh military lah, impossible. But I have to read all the important ones. Macam mana saya nak tahu important ones? How do we know that is important? How do we know that particular journal is important? Ini satu trik lah. Kita akan membaca journal ni, kita tidak boleh baca journal pilih pukul rata je, tak. We have to choose the latest journal up to 2020 lah, contohnya sekarang 2020. And normally kita akan patah balik 5 tahun ke belakang. So we need to find out what is the latest study on that particular area. Okay, so that particular area kita dah jumpa. So now we have to refer to that paper punya reference. Kita nak tahu apakah paper ni dia reference pada mana. So we need to find out, we need to read all of those papers. Okay, and we need to see what is the paper yang selalu orang refer. The most important, mungkin paper tu dah 20 tahun ke 10 tahun ke, so we need to also, because that is a starting point for everything. So we need to also refer that. Okay, and then based on that, you are going to come up with your own objective and your problem and so on. Okay. Two essentials. Two essential elements of all literature reviews. An outline of what others have done in your chosen area. Apa online of what? A progressive narrowing to the gap in the research. Okay. Orang dah buat ini, orang dah buat itu, orang dah buat ini. And people have said, if you have done it in this format, this is the outcome. If you have done it in that format, this is the outcome. So now you want to narrow down to come up with your own gap to say, well, no one has investigated this thing in this scenario. Tidak. No one has done that. Okay? No one has done that. So now you want to do this because why is it so important for you to do it here? Because orang dah macam ni. Contohnya macam ni lah. Kalau kita nak melihat shopping trend, okay? So you want to look at shopping trend in the online market, okay? So why do you say it's important? Why? What is the gap that you need to look at shopping online trend? So you can say, well, shopping online trend is the latest in the market sebab people have moved from the traditional shopping over to online shopping. Sebabnya technology has increased, and now with COVID-19 and all those things, people are shopping less outside. People are doing more online. So you want to see the trend. So this is the gap there. The trend has moved already. Okay, it's now cheaper to shop online rather than you go out and shop. So that is a trend. So based on that trend, you want to study the shopping trend, and based on that, you say that is the gap I want to look at. So structuring your review. You may Smith claims that, so this is how you want to structure your literature review. You are arguing, Jones argue this, but Smith claim ini pula. Okay, it's like this. Azrul argues that exercise does not influence losing weight. However, Imran claims that exercise loses weight. Satu kata tidak, satu kata ya. So there is two different contradicting yes and no. Why are they saying yes and no? Satu kata tidak, no. Satu kata ya. So these are different in approach. Distant to closely related. 1991, Smith, 1991, and Jones both showed that something, and again it was demonstrated by somebody else. So ada distance there, tapi they are related. Okay? They are related. Kenapa dia buat benda ni? This is also something questionable. Kenapa buat tiga kali? That means there is something important about this sampai 3 orang cakap benda yang sama. Smith pun cakap benda yang sama, both show, Smith and show, and demonstrate balik benda tu. So that means there is something very, very important that these 3 people are doing it in a very short period of time. Okay, number 3, chronological. Early marketing theory owes its development to, many studies contribute to. For example, Jones and Smith, Han was recognized, but later showed. Maksudnya ada urutan sejarah. There is also something. Okay, orang dah buat. Okay, and it's going on and on and on. This is also again sama dengan point number 2 and 3 is almost the same, tetapi you can see the trend. Okay, yang ni trend dia macam 86, 87, 89 macam dia berkembang. Dia ada kronologi dia. Something is happening. So it's happening but you don't know what. Okay, and Smith pula buat benda tu tapi dalam masa so short. 1991, 2001, 2002. Apa benda ni? Kenapa sekejap sangat? Why is the same thing studied over and over again at a very short period of time? So these are also some the way you structure your literature review. Okay tak di sana? Anda semua okay?
Okay, Doktor.
Okay, Doktor.
Any questions you want to ask me? Belum lagi? Nak tanya lagi? Okay, so this ini saya dapat daripada, oh ini belum lagi. Okay, so this is where you want to find literature review, journal articles, computerized database, conference, empirical study, government report. Ini biasalah. Ini semua, this is normal lah. Okay, yang ini saya dapat daripada Dr. Yusof kat atas ni. Prof bagi ni. Dia kata kalau dalam building survey, dia tak cakap wajib lah. Dia kata bagus baca jurnal-jurnal ini. FM, Facilities, Building Survey Studies, MRSJ, Malaysian Research Construction Journal, Design Study Interpretation Journal of Design Research, International Journal of, oh yang ni, sorry, yang nombor 678 ni Dr. Hisham, Dr. Hisham, PGI, dia bagi saya ni. Okay, yang Prof Yusof bagi saya 1 sampai 5, yang Dr. Hisham bagi saya yang inilah, yang AD banyak pakai ni, dia suruh baca ni, dia maksudnya dia pun pernah baca dah, dia pernah baca ni ya. And this yang bawah ni reference ini ialah beberapa jurnal, Q1 journal daripada bidang art and design. Ini diberi pada saya oleh ada seorang prof di AD di Shah Alam, my good friend. So dia bagilah, dia kata kalau untuk student dia recommend baca jurnal-jurnal daripada sinilah. Okay. Prof Yusof kata baca daripada yang 1 hingga 5, yang AD tu 678 dengan reference bawah ni lah. Okay, so this slide is inside your future, so you boleh ambil daripada situ. Kalau tak jumpa ke apa, just message saya and I will email to you lah the slides, no problem, tak masalah. Okay. Okay. So di atas ini nampak number ni, this is number 3 ya. So number 1 tadi is number 1 tadi ada ke? Number 1 tak ada. Saya sengaja tak letak number 1 sebab it's topic problem dekat kat situ lah. So we just jump to number 2, which is the topic, and then 2 which is also the literature review. And now we are going to number 3. We are talking about the objective. Okay, why is your research? Why do you need to do your research? What is the objective you wish to achieve? Why have organizations introduced early retirement? Objective is to identify organizations' objectives for introducing retirement schemes. Research question: what are the consequences of early retirement schemes? What's your objective? To describe the consequences, to explore the effect. Okay, so objective is specific action towards answering the question. Indicates what we are trying to get from the study, our expected result. That's the objective. Okay. Next, we are looking at the research design. How do you intend to carry out your study? Macam mana you nak buat your study? Okay, macam mana you nak buat your study? How you want to carry out your study refers to the overall strategy, is a framework that has been created to find answers to your question. This is also the same, sama dia macam tadi. Okay. Okay, so before we go on, research, design and method, what is the difference? Sorry, kenapa saya tulis number 3 kat sini? Sorry, number 3 kat sini. This one refers to slide 3 daripada topik research design ya. Yang ni 2 dengan 1 tu sama sebenarnya, silap sikit. Okay, so this is point number 2 of research design, and this is point number 3 of research design. Research design is planned to answer your research question. Method pula is a strategy used to implement that plan. So you are doing your surveys, what is your method? You're doing your experimental design science is also your method. Okay, your interviewing focus group is also your method. But how you design your study itu berbeza. Okay, what is your population, sample size, itu semua your design. Okay, your survey question, itu semua comes under your method. Okay, point number 3, research design and methods are different but closely related because a good research design ensures that the data you obtain will help you answer your questions. Okay, design ni memang sangat-sangat penting because based on the design, it will help you answer your questions. You have to design your research well. What are you studying? Siapa you nak pergi tengok? Okay, you nak buat survey? Okay, betul. Okay, siapa you nak survey? Managers, assistant manager, orang bawah, orang atas. Okay, berapa ramai you nak survey? Okay, multinational company ke, Malaysian company ke, local company ke, those these are designs. And then or maybe orang-orang tua ke, orang-orang muda ke, You want to do action research ke, you nak buat eksperimen ke, so apa you nak eksperimen, macam mana you nak buat eksperimen tu. Bila you kata macam mana you nak buat eksperimen tu, then you go to method. Macam mana you nak interview orang, okay, those set the question, those are methods. Okay, survey is a method. Okay, design, the process, how you answer that question. So basically you have 1, 2, 3 banyak research design yang kita akan cover dalam kelas kita, insyaAllah. Exploratory, descriptive and casual. These are the things we are going to cover, and along the way you akan cover your conclusive sekali lah. Okay, so bila you dah dapat exploratory and descriptive and casual, we will cover, automatically you akan cover conclusive sekali lah. Okay, so these are the classification line method. Okay, I'll just explain to you in general. Exploratory, paling senang is you do your descriptive. Descriptive is orang kata master's level lah. Okay, you just describe je. Based on my study, I found out that the number of people who answered my survey is 500 orang. Daripada 500 orang ni yang berumur di antara X ke X, 10 orang. Yang berumur daripada sini ke sini, berapa orang. Yang berpendidikan master, berapa orang. PhD, berapa orang. Those are descriptive. It only describes nothing. It only describes the figures. Nothing. Itu je. Bagi you nombor dan itu je. Nothing much. Causal, you want to find the relationship. That is the design. You nak cari the relationship between orang tua dengan pakai software. What is the relationship between using mobile telephones and also using application software also. Cross-sectional, you want to find out at one particular point of time. Okay, project management, project itu berlangsung for 8 bulan, tetapi what you are interested in 4 to 6 months. That is cross-sectional. Longitudinal, you want to do the study over a certain period. Pada awal proses, pada awal construction, you buat satu survey. At the end of the construction, you buat another survey. Okay, that is longitudinal. Adakah longitudinal ini quantitative or qualitative? Tidak. It can be both. You boleh interview orang pada awal proses, again you can interview them at the end of the process. Boleh, tidak ada masalah. Okay, single cross-sectional, maksud dia projek 8 bulan, potong, you interview them bulan ke-4. Multiple cross-sectional, interview them bulan ke-2, berhenti, interview them bulan ke-4, berhenti, interview them bulan ke-6. That is multiple cross-sectional. You want to find out certain things. Okay. So these are certain problems that we identify kalau dalam exploratory. Our sales are declining and we don't know why. So you want to find out why is our sales declining? Kenapa sales kita turun? Kenapa saya tak jual sandwich lagi di cafe? Dulu ada sandwich. Sekarang orang tu tak jual sandwich. Saya pun tak tahu kenapa. Okay. Would people be interested in our new product idea you want to explore? Kalau saya jual sandwich macam ni, would people be interested? Explore. You want to find out. I jual dulu saya jual, but sekarang saya tak jual, and now I want to introduce a new sandwich. Would people be interested? Okay. Descriptive. What kind of people are buying our product? Who buys our product? Our competitors' product. You are aware of the problem, but you want to find answers of this. You want to find answers of this. What kind of people? Sebab you want to improve your product. Product is there. Now you want to improve this. So you want to find out who is buying, what is our competitor doing as well. Okay. What features do buyers prefer in our product? What sandwiches do orang prefer? Okay. Okay, causal. Will buyers purchase more? Will buyers purchase more of our products in a new package? Okay. So kalau kita packagekan sandwich kita dalam bentuk yang lain, adakah orang akan beli? So now, we are not worried about the sales. We are now worried about kalau kita letak dalam tempat lain. Which of the two advertising campaigns is more effective? So we are not worried about sales. Again, we are just worried about which of, kalau kita buat campaign di sini, di sana, macam mana? Which is more effective? Kalau saya buat kempen melalui radio ataupun melalui Facebook, Instagram, which is more effective? Are you with me? Faham tak? Halo, halo.
Ya, dah. Okey.
Okey kah? Syamimi, okey. Yang lain-lain tu, yang bawah-bawah ni, yang muka. Saya nak tahu siapa yang ada kat sini. Syamimi, Farah, Sabrina.
Ada yang fast track 3 orang tu.
Oh, yang fast track siapa? Angkat tangan. Okay, angkat tangan pula. Fast track ni, okay. We just take 3 minutes chit chat session sebelum saya masuk. Azrul, you FSPU
Ya.
Farah, you bahagian mana pula?
Saya FSPU QS.
Azrul?
BS.
Syamimi?
Architecture.
Okay. Yang Sabrina pula?
Saya admin design. AD.
Rizalinda?
Saya FSPU building.
FSPU sama dengan Azrul ke?
Azrul building survey, saya building.
Oh, building. Okay. Yang seorang lagi ni warna orange ni siapa ni? FY. Hafiz.
Fairuz, interior design.
Sorry, your name tadi apa ni?
Fairuz.
Fairuz, interior design is under FSPU juga lah.
Betul, FSPU.
Okay. Alright, next one. Yang seorang lagi ni?
Saya Muaz.
Yes. Muaz dari mana?
Dari FSPU, Building Survey. Sama dengan Cik Astro.
Building Survey juga. Okay. Haziq dari mana?
Saya FSPU juga, Building Survey.
Building Survey. So Building Survey 1, 2, 3. Building 1, AD, Architecture. Farah tadi mana?
QS.
QS. Okay. Alright. Okay, so at least I know your ni lah, your field. So saya takut nanti saya explain tak kena pula, saya bagi examples yang tidak kena pula. So let me know if you want some examples based on your field, so that saya boleh tailorkan saya punya examples supaya orang kata kena kepada your field lah. Okay. If you want certain macam kalau saya tak boleh jawab soalan-soalan awak, saya akan tanya orang-orang lain lah yang memang kita feel dia more on your field lah. Itu yang tadi saya cari jurnal tu, saya tanya Prof Yusof, saya tanya Dr. Hisham, mana-mana yang architecture, saya tanya mana yang diorang bagilah. Okay, because I'm not well versed in the journal lah. Tapi journal selection ni is very very important. Sebab you kena baca journal, kalau saya akan baca journal tolak 5 tahun ke bawah. 2000 sama saya 2015. So that is my dia punya jangka masa lah. So based on that, saya akan cuba baca jurnal-jurnal yang Q1 lah, yang high rank journals dulu. And then kalau proceeding pun, saya akan pilih proceeding yang terbaik. Because this is where the ideas all come from, the gap, the problem all sits here. Kalau you baca jurnal yang orang kata Q4 yang bawah-bawah ni, okay, tak ada masalah, you can read, but that does not give you a higher advantage. Okay, so bila kita melaporkan tu, dia tak membawa, it's not strong enough as you read or you get information from Q1 or Q2 journals. So it is very important you read the right journals, you read the right journals and you get the right points.
Doktor, nak tanya boleh?
Ya, sure.
Okay, kan basically for now kan kita akan macam ambil 5 years yang latest, and then while waiting for Viva lah, for example, dalam lagi another 3 years, the problem statement yang kita select tu mungkin dia punya, bila kita dah by right kita dah nak Viva tu mungkin dia dah jadi outdated kan. So bila kita nak update tu, let's say problem tu dia dah jadi bertukar sikit. So macam mana kita nak sebab apa, pada asalnya masa kita DRP kita pakai yang let's say 2018, contohlah lagi a few years data tu dah obsolete kan. So macam ni kita nak still dalam problem yang sama tapi kita mesti nak kena update.
Itu soalan yang sangat bagus lah. Betul lah. Katakan you baca 2019, 2018 tu kan. And insyaAllah viral lah masa 3 tahun lagi kan. So benda yang you benda yang tak boleh jangka lah kan. You're seeing something in 2018 and 3 years later juga. So that's the beauty of things lah. So it should be your problem ni or what you write ni, it should be not so specific to that particular year, tapi it should be able to be expandable lah. That means idea itu boleh berkembang and you should keep on reading. That's one thing about literature review lah. Tidak ada, orang kata you cannot say that Alhamdulillah saya sudah habis literature review saya. It's an ongoing process. Memang it's an ongoing process. Memang susah lah to say that macam saya nak cakap dengan awak semua InsyaAllah lagi 2 bulan you akan habis baca pun tak boleh cakap macam tu. Sebab you akan baca and baca and baca. Mungkin you tidak akan baca your field tetapi you akan baca on the method side pula. Okay. So Syamimi, in order for you to for me to answer your question is well, you just have to keep on reading lah. You just have to keep on reading and you have to update your literature as time goes by. We hope that it will not change as much, tetapi you need to include more ideas lah. Macam dulu you baca ada 3 faktor je, sekarang ni dah ada 5 kan. So you just need to address all those je, you dah ada 5 tu. Because bila you viva, orang akan tanya, kenapa you tak refer pada something yang tidak ada. Let's say in 2018, benda tu tak ada pun, tapi sekarang sudah ada kan. So you just have to include those je. So as time goes by, you just have to include yourself and do more reading. Itu je jawapan saya kepada awak. Dia kena baca je lah. You just have to include more of your ni. Kalau dulu you kata 3, sekarang ada 5, so you just have to write on that. And you just have to keep on reading je. Itu yang terbaik lah. Okay, any other question before we continue sikit lagi?
Doktor, saya nak tanya macam mana nak identify Q1 journal
Oh, macam mana identify Q1 journal? Okay. Q1 journal kan. Dalam slide saya ini, mana slide saya? Dalam slide saya ini, saya dah listkan ini semua Q1 journals lah. These are all Q1 journals. Sorry.
Tak, Simago boleh, Simago.
Kat Simago pun boleh, yes. Kat Simago boleh. You just type Q1 journals on that particular topic and you can find out all those Simago journals. Okay, those are Simago journals lah. Satu lagi yang saya nak tanya, you also need to know how to use your database yang provided by the library PITA tu. Cara you pakai database tu. Okay. Cara you, I have to admit saya tak tahu pakai PITA punya library database lah. Saya agak confused lah. Tapi kebanyakannya saya pakai Google Scholar, tapi ada juga yang saya tak jumpa, saya pergi pada PITA lah. Tapi you can use Simago and to find out all your latest Q1 journals kat situ lah, based on your topic of interest. Tapi again, make sure you get Q1, Q2, Q1, Q2 je and minus 5 tahun. Ada yang cakap minus 3 tahun pun better, tapi untuk saya I think minus 5 years is good enough dah.
Okay, betul, terima kasih.
Okay, give me 1 minute, saya bagi awak 2 minit. Sekarang 9.48, we start back at 9.50. Kita pergi minum air sekejap Okay, we start back at 9.50 boleh?
Okay, doktor boleh.
Okay.
Okay, kita sambung balik. Okay, exploratory research, we are talking about the research question that lies beneath the analysis might be, is there any relationship between the share of migrant population in a given community and the way migration is seen by members? Okay, this is explore. You want to only find out. Okay, you want to find out saja. You want to explore, is there any relationship? Usually conducted at the outset of a research project, usually conducted when the researcher does not know much about the problem. Okay, you do not know much about the problem, but you think there is something wrong. You are ambiguous, that's why saya letak sini, our sales are declining. Why? You want to know, you want to explore. Why is our sales declining? Kenapa air tak ada di Selangor? That is exploratory. Okay, ini tak ada kaitan dengan siapa-siapa, secara kebetulan saja. But it's an exploratory research. You want to explore why this is happening. Kenapa benda ini terjadi? Okay, we have moved to the new century, but this problem is happening. So you want to find out why. It's an ambiguous problem. So you explore, you want to understand the structure, you formulate the problems precisely, you are going to generate hypothesis, and you are going to develop measurement skills. Macam mana you nak buat survey, you nak ukur dia macam mana. These are exploratory. Okay, next we move to descriptive. Descriptive is the most simplest. We are studying measures of various attributes of salesperson, training programs or retail situation, measuring how salesperson or customer behaved, as well as what happened to sales volume. Okay, so descriptive research, you are aware of the problem, but who is buying our products? We are aware of the problem of contamination in the Selangor River. Who is contaminating this river? That is descriptive. Okay, we are aware of the problem. Kita sedar masalah itu. Ada orang contaminate our sungai. Now, who is doing this? That is descriptive. Kalau exploratory, why is there always water cuts? Kenapa ada masalah air? Yang ini pula, now who is contaminating our water? Siapa yang kata buat benda ni? Describe customer or competitors, understand market size, segment market, measure performance, and example, share of wallets and brand awareness. These are all defining a descriptive problem. Okay, descriptive. We are only finding out, we are only trying to describe. Itu saja. Describe means, kalau describe, kalau dalam quantitative, it's just mean, median je tau. Very simple, straightforward. Okay, we are only keluarkan numbers je. Mean, mode, median, standard deviation, itu je, describe saja. Peratus, itulah lebih kurang. You want to describe je, nothing more. There is no explore. You are not interested in finding any relationship or anything. You just trying to describe saja. Causal, you are trying to find what is the relationship. Will buyers purchase more if we change the website? Okay, you're just trying to find something. Cuaca panas dengan makan aiskrim. What is the relationship? Lagi tinggi cuaca, lagi banyak saya makan aiskrim. Something like that. Okay, is that a causal? So you want to find out why. So these are some factors. Okay, this is a factor contributing to the problem with these factors, and is there any relationship between these factors? Okay, so sometimes we call this a spurious correlation. Correlation means ini dengan ini. Is there a correlation? Correlation bermaksud naik ni, adakah problem ini akan naik? Contohnya, pencemaran air tak ada. Jika pencemaran air akan naik, air tak ada, so we want to find out. That is a causal relationship. Okay, we also have spurious correlation. Contohnya macam ni. Okay, a city ice cream sales. These sales are highest when the rate of drowning in the city pool is high. Baik. Didapati bahawa, ni pelik sikit ya, jualan aiskrim itu tinggi and pada masa yang sama orang banyak drown in swimming pool. Apa kaitan dia? Aiskrim naik, orang tenggelam. Apa kaitan dia? Okay, so bila diorang study, dia kata to allege that ice cream causes drowning. Mana boleh ice cream dengan drowning, apa kaitannya? Oh, mungkin akan ada spurious between dua, ada something wrong between both. Okay, ada something wrong. Mungkin sebenarnya orang makan ice cream masa cuaca panas, orang makan ice cream, satu, dan orang pergi berenang, dua. Tapi bila orang pergi berenang, orang tenggelam. So tiba-tiba nampak macam bila ice cream itu tinggi, orang pun tenggelam itu tinggi. Sebenarnya tak ada kaitan, tetapi secara kebetulan benda itu berada di dua-dua tempat. Sebab cuaca tinggi, ice cream naik. Sebab cuaca tinggi, orang drown, orang tenggelam. Sebenarnya orang tenggelam itu disebabkan oleh cuaca tinggi. Bila orang berenang, orang tenggelam lah. Itu je. Tapi cuaca tinggi juga menyebabkan ice cream. But there is no relationship, there is a spurious relationship between tenggelam dengan ice cream. Okay? A spurious correlation is not a correlation. It's just secara kebetulan. Ini. Bukan kebetulan, memang tak ada. This is a spurious correlation. Tak ada kaitan. This is independent by itself. Okay, next we go to population and sample design, sample size. So in designing your research design, you are also worried about, you should be always worried about your population. What is your population? Who is your population? My population is, okay, my population is project managers in Malaysia. Hello, project managers in Malaysia berapa ramai? Berapa ratus? So you kecilkanlah sampel tu, you kata project managers in Malaysia who is from the A company. You kecilkan sikit. But your population is project managers. Tapi you kecilkan skop tu, you pilihlah project manager yang kelas A, contractors, dan telah berurusan dalam kontraktor ni mungkin dalam 10 tahun ke atas. So that is your sample. Okay, any questions you want to ask me? Nak tanya saya ke baru? Okay, population, the measure quality is called parameter. The population is a complete set. Reports are a true representation of an opinion. It contains all members of a specific group. Okay, the sample is a subset of a population. Point number 3. Reports have margin error and confidence interval. Confidence interval ialah dia ada margin error, meaning dia boleh salah tapi dia punya kesilapan sikit je. And interval meaning if you get a good sample, the interval tu you akan dapat, interval meaning jawapan yang you dapat tidaklah terlalu tersasar daripada kebenaran dan juga tidaklah tersasar daripada benda tu tak betul. That means you get something in between. Maksud dia, kalau you dapat sampel yang bagus, let's say your sample size is 100 and your response rate is about 90%, then we can say your confidence interval is good. It's 90. That means you have got almost everything perfect. Okay, and your margin of error, maksud dia is low. Margin error ni ialah you, maksudnya daripada 90% itu, you dapati bahawa almost about 70 to 80% your marginal error is only about 10 to 20%. Meaning daripada 90 orang yang jawab soalan survey itu, hanya dalam 20 ke 30 orang atau 20 orang yang tak jawab betul-betul. So your margin of error is very, very little. Okay? So that's a good thing. Yeah, sure.
Boleh saya tanya lagi?
Yeah, go ahead.
Saya nak tanya, beza ke focus group dengan sampel?
Focus group and sample. Okay. Focus group and sample. Okay. Sample is this one lah. Okay. Focus group is a smaller subset of a sample. Tetapi focus group tu ialah satu proses. Satu proses di mana you target beberapa orang untuk buat your kajian. Okay, a focus group. Sebab you cannot take a sample ini, you tak boleh ambil 100 orang sebagai focus group. Focus group normally is a very, very small group. That means you take the best out of the best. Contohnya macam satu Malaysia kontraktor kelas A, katakanlah ada dalam 800 orang. Daripada 800 orang ini, you hanya fokus kepada negeri-negeri di sebelah timur Malaysia sahaja, which is Kelantan dan Terengganu. So you kecilkan sampel you. Daripada sampel ni, you kata no, I only want kontraktor yang ada experience 20 tahun ke atas. So you dapat 200. So that is your sample size. Okay. Now focus group ni pula is you select beberapa orang daripada sample size ini, tetapi tidaklah seharusnya 200 orang. You get the best, that means you get yang paling senior, yang paling banyak project, then you select as your sample size. So sebenarnya your focus group ialah satu proses di mana you mendapatkan sample size yang lagi kecil. Contohnya dalam maksimum saya pernah tengok sample size, focus group maybe dalam 10 orang ataupun kurang. Okay, so focus group ini ialah focus group is the process itself where you have your, orang kata, the best of the best sample lah. Okay.
Okay, thank you Doktor. I tanya sebab my research basically nanti I pun rasa akan buat focus group sebab my potential expert tu basically on designers part kan, designers team. So dia very small group lah.
Okay. You can also, saya boleh cadangkan, you boleh, I'm not sure of what ni lah, tetapi saya boleh cadangkan kalau you buat focus group, you buat macam saya, one of my slides tadi kata multiple cross sectional. Maksudnya you buat, contohnya a project is for 10 months, you buat bulan ketiga keempat satu, then you panggil balik bulan kelima ke enam, you buat satu lagi. Then you can see the difference. You can see ada perbezaan di antara bulan 3, bulan 4 punya jawapan dengan bulan 5, bulan 6 punya jawapan. Something like that lah. So you boleh nampak ada perubahan-perubahan dia lah. That's an idea lah. Tapi itu bergantung pada jenis topik dan jenis research yang you nak buat lah. Idea saja.
Okay, thank you Doktor.
Okay, determining sample size. Degree of accuracy. Should be very accurate. Degree of variability. So you variable lah. Kasih ada, jangan kata you pilih sample size tu, you pilih semua ambil lelaki saja, semua ambil perempuan, semua ambil Cina, semua ambil India, semua ambil yang kiranya geng lah. You don't take that. You take variable lah. You take syarikat bumi, non-bumi and things like that. Number of different variables examined simultaneously in a data analysis. Okay, so you different variables, that means you look at the same variable for everyone. You look for the same variable. Contohnya balik kepada research losing weight tadi, you jangan bagi okay, kumpulan ini you hanya tanya soalan-soalan pasal puasa, kumpulan ini you hanya tanya soalan-soalan pasal exercise, kumpulan ini you tanya pasal soalan makan. Okay, that is not right. You should give everyone the same choice of the same variable. Maksudnya awak tanya Awak tanya, let's say you ask a person, okay, awak suka exercise, suka makan, suka ni, 3 benda yang sama. You have to ask them the same thing. Okay, and it's also available resources, example, and time and money lah. So you, even if you choose sampel macam tu, tapi if there's no time or no money issue, then there's also a problem. Data collection. How are you going to get your data? Mimi, you are down here. Focus group. Okay, this is how you get your data. Primary. Kenapa kita sebut primary? Sebab you're getting it from them, mereka. Secondary, financial report, sales report, government report, mission, vision, internet. These are all secondary lah. Contoh, laporan daripada khazanah, itu semua secondary lah. Laporan pada kajian perumahan, those are secondary reports. So you get the report from them.
Dr. sorry, nak tanya, macam yang sample study, dia justification of sample selections perlu supported through literature review juga ke? Contoh macam kita nak study on the designer's perspective kan, so it is perlu supported through literature.
Yeah, you need to say why you are, satu, I mean, I'm sure you know this lah, secara logik lah. Kenapa you pilih dia? Sebab macam you explain tadi, because it's a field yang very orang kata memang tak ada orang lain lah. Okay, that is a very unique field yang memang tak ada orang lain. So that's also part of a literature. You get some points yang you get some evidence to say that that is a very limited field and itu sahaja orang-orang yang available. So that itself is a support lah. So that itself is a literature to show yang you buat focus group ni kerana tak cukup orang yang dalam field ini banyak ni saja. That's also part of the survey. Sorry, that is also part of the literature to say why you chose that focus group. Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, ini ada soalan lain? Analysis of data. Data analysis qualitative, quantitative, and triangulation. Mixed method. Campur dua-dua sekali. To combine. Quantitative, bila kita explain pasal quantitative, we are looking at numbers, we are looking at variables, we are looking at to test hypothesis, we are looking at surveys, we are looking at standards, we are looking at statistical analysis, we are looking at tables and charts. We are looking at all numbers. Okay. Causal relation explanation is based on the assumption that by finding and explaining the cause of a phenomenon, we explain the phenomenon. Okay. What causes it to happen? Okay, is based on an assumption that by finding and explaining the cause of a phenomenon, we explain the phenomenon. Faham tak ni? Okay, so baca balik. Is an assumption that by finding and explaining the cause of phenomenon, we explain about the phenomenon. We explain about tak ada air ni, but how do we explain about tak ada air? We find out and explain the cause of that. Once we have found out the cause, then we can explain kenapa tak ada air. That is how a cause explanation is. Is based on an assumption by finding and explaining the cause of a phenomenon, we explain about the phenomenon. Macam example saya bagi, dry, hot and sunny summer weather causes ice cream to increase, causes sunburn. What is the correlationship between ice cream and sunburn? Tak ada, tetapi kebetulan sahaja pada musim panas jualan ice cream itu tinggi dan pada waktu yang sama sunburn tinggi, tapi it's not a relationship, it's just a spurious relationship secara kebetulan saja. Okay. Okay, qualitative. Capture and discover the meaning from becoming immersed in data. Concepts in the form of themes, generalization, and taxonomy Research procedures are particular and replication is rare. Extract teams of evidence and organize data to present a coherent, consistent picture. So macam Syamimi kata dia nak buat focus group. So that we are looking at quantitative. So quantitative is we will duduk sekali, immerse himself, duduk bersama data tu, listen, generalize teams dia, and we will try to understand apakah yang sedang dibincangkan dalam itu. So that is what we say as form teams, generalization, and we listen, we immerse ourselves in the data. Kita duduk sekali dalam data tu, kita dengar apa yang dia cuba bincangkan. Kadang-kadang kita duduk pun ada juga kita buat recording, kita dengar, kita tanya soalan, okay? And then ada juga saya pernah tengok research yang dia letak kamera, dia fokus dekat muka orang pula. Dia nak tengok kalau orang tu setuju macam mana, senyum, akak kening, garu hidung ke apa ke. So these are facial expressions that support whether the person agrees or not with the statement. Can you see this? Nampak 6 steps to do thematic analysis. Gather your data. Read all your data beginning to the end. Maksudnya you dapat code the text based on what's it about. Create new codes that encapsulate potential themes. Number 5, take a break and then evaluate your teams for good fit. Okay, meaning macam tadi dia buat focus group. Okay, first you code down, you tulis balik, then you find out ada similarities tak orang cakap. Rupa-rupanya bila you duduk situ, rupanya semua orang ada dalam 10 orang, semua cakap benda yang sama, point yang sama. So that are the teams. So you susun teams tu. Okay, and then you find out what is the matching characteristics and so on and so forth. And then dia kata set find out what is you evaluate these teams. Okay, halo, okay tak di sana?
Okey doktor.
Masih segar? Masih ya.
Okey.
Awak semua tidur pukul berapa ya?
Tak tentu doktor.
Okey lah. Semua okey di sana, semua okey ya. Okay, stages, ini saya saja letak. Stages of quantitative data analysis. Okay, yang ini saya akan point last ni saya akan explain in the next lecture. First, ini untuk quantitative. Silap Ini sepatutnya slide ni datang masa kita bincangkan quantitative, tapi tak apa. So first you organize your data, you present your data, you find your tender, central tender and variability. This is descriptive statistics. I'll explain to you more on the next lecture. And then you do data analysis and then infer inferential statistic. Inferential statistic ialah you buat, orang kata you buat infer means you find what factor contributes the most. This is where you infer that. Dari sekarang you dah tahu ada 3 possibilities untuk losing weight, but now you infer them, you find out which of these 3 faktor ini contributes the most. So this is certain types lah of, this is what we say is infer strategy. Okay, next we move on to research approach. Dalam bracket, some people call it a research method. Okay, so you will call it a research method. Ada orang cakap as research approach. So examples, we have survey. I need not explain lah. Case study. What is case study pula? Case study pula. Ethnography. Okay, experiment. Ethnographic ni is researcher observing behavior either in person or via camera pre-installed in a particular home's workplace. Think of it as Google Box where viewers observe the reaction to people watching TV. Oh, ini macam AF lah AF dulu kan dia ada rumah-rumah kan, dia ada kamera kita tengok kan. Okay, that is one ethnographic study lah. Ataupun kita buat kan macam National Geographic lah, dia orang letak kamera kat hutan kan. So this is also part of it lah. Pre-install camera, dia orang tengok behavior of a certain animal. Okay, this is what it means. So if we use survey, case study, action research or field experiment, Ini kita namakan sebagai practice oriented method. We want to find out what practitioners think or do. Kenapa saya pakai survey? Sebab saya nak tahu apa yang orang buat, apa yang orang fikir. Okay. Alright. Contoh survey yang biasa kita buat lah dalam UiTM. Okay. We do a survey, happiness index. Contohnya, happiness index. That's a survey lah. Okay. The management wants to find out apa yang kita rasa terhadap UiTM. The management wants to find out what we think about UiTM. That's why we do. They give us a survey. So that is what we say is a practice-oriented method. So you want to find out what people think. Apa yang orang fikir tu? Apa yang orang fikir? Okay. So that's why we use survey, case study atau action research or field experiment. Okay. Or we want to find out the conceptual study, the world of ideas. Kita nak tahu apakah yang telah dinyatakan dalam literature tentang problem ini ataupun tentang study ini. So we want to find out, we do a conceptual study. Kita bacalah siang, malam, pagi, petang sampai 12 tengah malam every day. We want to find out what have people written about this. So we do a conceptual study. Are you okay? Are you conceptual okay? Semua conceptually okay di sana ke? Mimi okay ke? Azrul okay ke? Okay.
Okay tu.
Saya kena check awak semua tau. Takut nanti awak dah
Takut
hilang.
tidur.
Dia bukan takut tidur tu satu hal. Takut. Saya takut jugalah. Okay, nak break minum air ke? Tak payah ke? Okay lagi? Okay lah, saya bagi 2 minit tu. 10.17 kita start balik 10.20. 3 minit minum air.
Okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Salam doktor.
Farah, are you there? Haziq, anda di sana lagi ke?
Ada.
Mas. Semua okey?
Okay.
Okey. Okey. Alright. Semua lari setempat sekarang cepat. Okey. Okay, before we continue, we need to understand conceptual study. This is very important. Okay, ini conceptual study kenapa saya keluarkan. Tiba-tiba saya tukar sedikit sebab saya baru, semasa saya buat slide ni, saya terlupa nak explain pasal conceptual study. Sepatutnya conceptual study dilakukan awal, tetapi tak apa. Saya sengaja juga letakkan dalam chapter-chapter, dalam slide-slide ni dah. Okay, So now daripada awal tadi, daripada dalam sejam lebih tadi, we have talked about title, literature review, design sikit, and we have talked about a bit of survey, kita dah explain about causal relationship, we have talked about applied research, but all of this does not go anywhere if your conceptual study is not done. So a conceptual study comes from your literature review. You want to find out what has been written on the net, what has been written about your topic inside journals, inside the body of knowledge. So that's why a conceptual study is very, very important. A conceptual study shows that you have read this much of journals, and based on your opinion and speculation, this is what you feel is happening. And this is where the problem lies, and this is where the your gap is. Okay, so that is very important. You find out, you do conceptual study. Conceptual study is also, the advantages here, effective for building new frameworks and insight, providing critical analysis of situation, new insight theory, and rapidly developing ideas lah. So it's good for you to do conceptual studies. But again, ada setback dia sebab ianya highly subjective, sebab dia dia belum lagi, conceptual study ni satu idea, it's very general. Dia belum lagi tailor down to your actual problem. Relies on what other people have thought to be important. So you baca, you tengok orang lain yang cakap apa, so you think that is the most important. Padahal mungkin bukan, mungkin ya. Okay, but it's also important. You want to find out what is happening. Other research approach or other method is ada yang pakai lab, ada pakai mathematical modeling. Ini semua bukan ada kita lah. Tapi untuk Syamimi mungkin, we are looking at focus group. What do people under control? What do people do under control circumstances? Kenapa saya katakan dia control circumstances? Sebab you are controlling your focus group. You control them. You kata you nak bincang pasal ini sahaja. You are looking at this. You control them. You letak dia orang dalam satu bilik. You tutup pintu ke apa. You letak kamera semua. You ask them to do only certain things. So that is what we say as a focus group. Okay. But maybe adalah benda-benda lain. Tapi you kata okay, we are going to discuss on certain issues. So we control them. Okay. Meaning jawapan yang you dapat tu is based on certain conditions. Or maybe you use a technical oriented approach, which is the design science. Will this design system work? Okay, so you want to find out whether this design will work or not. For example, ini biasa dalam, kadang-kadang kalau dalam bidang komputer IT ni, they use design science untuk menentukan bahawa adakah telefon jenis ini akan membantu orang, adakah telefon jenis ini akan membantu orang-orang buta. Okay, this is design science. We want to find out, will the system work on certain condition. Okay, so knowledge, what do we want to obtain? Apa yang kita nak dapatkan from our approach ni? Apa yang kita nak facts and figures. We want something, we want what people experience. Macam mana dia rasa? Focus group, macam mana dia rasa? Can be observed and measured by outsider. Do not require observation or knowledge of context. Explicit, we want to know that apa yang we want to know lah. Kita nak tahu benda tu. Or we want to know how. Macam mana dia buat benda tu? How is the basic knowledge is something is inside is their brain. We want to find out that macam mana dia dapat tahu, macam mana dia boleh repair machine photostat tu. How does it know? Macam mana dia tahu, how do they know that that is the problem? Macam mana mekanik tahu yang itu masalah dia? So that is basic knowledge. So these are certain things that we want to find out on. We're using this certain method, we want to find out. What do we want to find out? So ini survey semua orang tahu. Based on interview or questionnaire, can also be quantitative, betul? Survey can also be qualitative, boleh. You jumpa orang, you tanya soalan-soalan, set on certain question, orang jawab, that's also a survey. Okay, you bagi soalan, orang jawab, tulis, that's also a quantitative survey. Okay, you can apply to many people. Contiguous, okay, ini senang lah. You can get general conclusion, tetapi a lot of work for relatively little knowledge gain lah. So kadang-kadang you bagi survey ni kat 1,000 orang pun, answers that you get sometimes susah lah. Ada orang jawab cepat, ada orang jawab lambat, ada orang jawab yes, no semua. Ada orang main terabur je, tak baca pun soalan. Response rate is very low, so you have to find out. Response rate pun penting juga, you know, all those things lah. Case study ialah you observe them, you tengok, you buat a case study on a certain company, you choose them, you interview them, you find out what is that, you buat a semi-structured interview, and it can be exploratory, explorative, okay? So you interview them, you buat your case study, let's say you do your case study on, for example, contohnya, kita buat case study on spending, the power of spending, the power of shopping, based on, let's say based on states. Okay, macam mana orang-orang Perak berbelanja, macam mana orang-orang di Kedah berbelanja, macam mana orang-orang di KL berbelanja. So you do case study, you interview beberapa orang, okay, and then you find out what is the spending pattern. Okay, that is good. Those are case study. Adalah dia punya advantage dia, you boleh baca, simple, straightforward. Disadvantage pun sama, okay, you can find out. Action research, this is quite interesting. Involve researchers and practitioners working together. Action research, meaning kalau kita buat macam, we go to the company, we sit inside the company, we sit inside the development team, we look at how it's being done, okay, that's a process. We look at how it's being done, how they solve the problems, we look at how they repair the problems, how they make the things semua. Itulah. Contoh ni macam kalau di US sekarang very famous, kalau orang-orang yang main skateboard, main basikal semua, so those are action research. So company buat skateboard, bagi dia try. Okay, dia try, dia kata ini tak sesuai, tukar board, tukar ni. Then dia duduk sekali dengan researchers. I think the board should be this way. I think the tire should be this way. So this is called action research. So kerana dia duduk sekali bersama the company. Okay, so you can do also action research. So these are the advantages. Focus group. Okay, carefully planned group discussion. Ini Hamimi, this could be yours. Focus on small numbers of predetermined issues. So you tell them this is the issue. Jangan bincang pasal benda lain. Okay, this is the issue, we are looking at this. Conducted between 7 to 12 people, collect quantitative data on feelings, opinion, product, issues and opportunities. Okay, ini saya bagi satu contoh gambar lah. Okay, are you all okay there? Hello?
Okay, Doktor.
Okay.
Okay.
Boleh? Azrul dah tidur belum?
Ada.
Ada, okay, good. Okay, terbaiklah. Okay, so this is a big group. Mari kita bacalah jom ni. How is the focus group coming along? They don't like us. They're plotting to storm our observation room. So they release the sleeping gas. Itulah dia. So you can do, nampak ni Syamimi, you buat focus group, you letak dalam tingkap macam aquarium ni. So you do, so orang bincang-bincang lah. So you observe them, macam mana diorang, you observe them, how they are doing their discussion and things like that. Okay, design science. Design science is basically your development or engineering approach to research where an artifact is designed, developed and evaluated. So you design that and you test it there and then. So adakah design ini sesuai untuk orang-orang buta atau tidak? So those are design science. Contohnya bila main game, okay, people in design science dia akan test. Okay, dia kata bila main PS2, PS4, okay, the console tu kena macam ni, kena macam tu. Okay, so they design that, they test that. Okay, mungkin dia kata thumb tu jari perlulah mungkin kena pusing ke apa, so on so forth. Okay, so these are what we say is design science. Okay, so summary sikit lagi je. Various research approach exist. Memang ada banyak. Produce qualitative data, quantitative data, or both. Have different goals. Ada macam-macam goal dia. Either you nak buat exploratory, descriptive, or explanatory. You want to explore, you want to describe, or you want to explain. Explore is the best approach that may be used when answering a research question. Research is means of advancing our knowledge. The research design depends on the question. Consider the approach, the paradigm and the theory. Kenapa saya letakkan teori di bawah, paradigm di atas dan approach paling atas? So, kenapa saya buat macam tu? Bukannya sepatutnya kita start dengan teori, paradigm dengan approach. Tetapi saya sengaja letakkan approach, paradigm dan teori kerana ini yang saya buat dahulu. Sebab saya suka, sebelum saya buat research, saya suka nombor. I like numbers. So saya letak approach saya di atas. Saya nak memang when I started my PhD, saya nak buat survey dan saya seorang positif. Saya suka tengok numbers. So that's why I put approach di atas, paradigm dan teori di bawah. Bila saya dah jumpa saya punya research problem, so I studied the approach first. Macam mana aku nak buat benda ni? How do I want to get the data if I were to do a survey? And then only I come up to my theory. Okay, this is how I did it. But in general, people akan tengok teori terlebih dahulu. Okay, saya letakkan ini sengaja saya letakkan approach, paradigm, teori. Tetapi by default kalau you baca semua buku-buku bahasa research method, dia akan start dengan teori. Tapi saya buat terbalik sikit. Okay, jadi terbalik. So you can use this approach if it works for you, or else you can just go back to theory, paradigm and approach. And research must also be conducted ethically lah. Ini biasalah semua orang tahu. Okay, alright. Cik Azrul, okay. Cik Puan Mimi, okay.
Okay, dah.
Okay.
Okay.
What's right for today? 5 minutes self-test. So, number the stages below 1 to 7 to indicate a typical sequence the research process might take. The first has been done for you. Okay. So, yang ini based on your understanding of today's class. Jawapan awak mungkin sama, mungkin tidak, mungkin kebetulan sama, mungkin tidak. Tak ada jawapan yang betul, tak ada jawapan yang silap. Saya cuma perlukan 5 minit awak untuk isi benda ni. Jangan beritahu saya, simpan benda ni. And mungkin as you go along your research, you might change your answer. So hari ni mungkin Mimi kata nombor 2 ialah teori. Tetapi mungkin as she goes along, mungkin satu hari dia kata, aish tak betul. I will go, mungkin ditukar, nombor 2 ialah deduction. So for now, I want you to indicate the numbers. Letaklah nombor apa yang you suka. Kalau you rasakan Nombor 2 itu patut berada di initial data gathering, go ahead, letaklah. Keep this with you and as you go along, refer balik benda ni. Adakah you dah buat semua benda ni? Kalau you tak buat, you tukar number tu balik. Okay, keep this in mind. Mungkin akan ada benda yang tak ada kena-mengena dengan awak, tak ada masalah. But I think all of this is very, very important. Data analysis, hypothesis, theory, deduction, further data gathering or initial. Mungkin design tak ada form hypothesis, mungkin lah. Okay, mungkin tak ada, dia ada benda lain. Tapi tak apa, you just keep this and you use this for yourself. Okay, tak payah hantar pada saya, simpan semua benda ni. And maybe you can use it later. Okay, so in the next 5 minutes or 3 minutes nanti you jawab ni sebelum tidur nanti, you just put some answers for this and just keep it to yourself. Okay, jangan share kepada orang lain. Just keep it to yourself and think what is the best approach. Okay, alright. So we have finished our class for today. Saya lupa nak cakap, Dr. Nuri suruh saya bagi assignment kat awak. Kesian awak semua. So saya akan cari assignment yang paling susah untuk bagi awak semua lah. Jangan risau. Okay. Okay. Nampaknya awak semua memang letih lah. Saya buat lawak pun awak tak ada seorang pun gelak.
Awak pun serius juga, tak banyak gelak.
Itulah, saya pun terkejut.
Sampai doktor pun letih kot.
Saya pun pelik. Bila buat lawak, saya tengok saya dengar tak ada siapa gelak. Saya macam, okay lah, ada mental block going on. Tapi tak apa. Okay. Alright. Don't worry. I will give you a very simple, straightforward assignment lah. Very straightforward. Nothing, tak ada susah, tak ada apa. Tak ada jawapan yang, it's like this lah, yang soalan yang last slide tadi, macam ni lah soalan saya. Tak ada jawapan. It's just something for you to reflect sahaja. Okay, so it's very important yang slide yang last tadi tu, kalau boleh awak print dan simpan. Awak tanda mana yang betul. Kalau rasa along the way benda tu berubah, isikan benda nombor baru. Okay, so I leave you with that. And if you have any questions, kalau you nak tanya boleh. Ada soalan-soalan ke Farah, Syamimi, Haziq, Muaz, Rizal Linda, Sabrina? Azrul, okay?
Okay.
Azrul, okay?
Okay, tak ada.
Okay, Farah, okay?
Okey, insyaAllah doktor.
Okay. Mimi, okay? Haziq, okay? Haziq senyap kan? Macam total loss kan?
Tak ada, saya okey.
Okay, ya?
Adjust lagi. Saya ada slide doktor ada bagi kan dekat e-future tu. Nanti saya check, saya baca balik. Kalau tak faham nanti saya tanya dengan doktor personal lah.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead. Ini nombor telefon saya kat chat room tu, saya letak. Okay, silap. 012-703-1179. Ini ya nombor telefon saya. This is my number. Take down my number. If you have any question ke apa ke, just WhatsApp saya. Miss call tidak akan dilayan. Just write down your name and just tell me you have any question ke, tanyalah. No problem. Okay? Kalau hari ni tak dapat tanya soalan, tak apa. You just keep on bila-bila. And masuk UiFuture, tanda attendance ya, jangan lupa. Okay, thank you so much for being online at night. Okay, I wish you all the best for tomorrow. Marilah kita sama-sama merehatkan mata kita. Mungkin awak nak baca lagi, go ahead. And very important, saya nak kalau boleh slide yang terakhir tadi awak print dan tampal dalam kat mana-mana lah, tepi katil ke, tepi meja ke, tampal and write down, tulislah kat situ, which is a process. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Ada soalan terakhir nak tanya saya ke? Okay?
Saya tak ada.
Okay? Mimi tak ada? Okay. Haziq, Muaz,
Saya tak ada.
Okay. Alright, so thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih doktor.
Terima kasih.
Okay.
Waalaikumsalam.
Salam.